The founders of our country rebelled against King George III. Like all British subjects, the American colonies paid taxes. Yet, unlike other British subjects, the Americans weren't allowed to choose their own government representatives. So they rebelled against this unfair form, taxation without representation. Taxation without representation still goes on today, even here in Utah. It happens when all of us pay taxes for an election we can't all participate in. How's that? Let me explain. In Utah, all taxpayers pay for political party primary elections. For decades, the vast majority of our primary elections have been Republican primaries, and the Republican Party has closed their primaries to anyone who is not a registered Republican. However, most voters in Utah are not registered Republicans. That means more than half of the taxpayers who pay for the primaries are not even able to vote in them. And make no mistake, these elections are not cheap. In 2017, for example, all Utah taxpayers footed a $1.5 million bill for a Republican primary to replace Congressman Jason Chaffetz. But if you were not a Republican, you were not allowed to vote in this primary election, even though you paid for it. Let's summarize. Just like the early Americans, all Utahns are taxed, and all pay for political party primary elections. But less than half of us get to actually participate in a primary election that very often decides who ultimately represents us. This closed primary system leaves most Utahns feeling disenfranchised and shut out. Utah voter participation in 2016 was among the lowest in the nation. No wonder. What's the answer? Open primaries. In states with open primaries, voters can choose which party primary they participate in, even if they're not registered to vote with that party. If Utah Republicans want to insist on closed primaries, then it's only fair that they pay for their own primary elections rather than expecting the rest of us to foot their bill. The United Utah Party believes that our laws should be changed. We believe that if taxpayers pay for a primary election, then everyone should be allowed to participate in that election. That's good fiscal sense as well as plain old common sense. Visit unitedutah.org to learn more about open primaries and other reforms advocated by the United Utah Party.